Thank you to everyone who asked for this video to be made. I really enjoyed reading your comments and messages. This is my top 12 eye exercises for riders. I know a lot of you have been struggling when you're on the computer with something that is known as digital eye strain. And it's basically when you end up with sore, tired, dry eyes and a little bit of blurred vision from being on the computer for such a long time. So these are the tips and tricks I use to keep my eyes healthy, strong, and free of digital eye strain. Let's jump right into number one, which is to blink. When you are on the computer for such a long time looking at the screen, your blink rate decreases, and this is one of the things that can lead to digital eye strain. So in an eye exercise session, I usually do about 50 blinks. You can pick whatever number you want. However many you can fit into your routine, that's fine. I do 50. The next thing, number two, is to make sure that you take regular breaks. Such a long time on the computer is going to leave you with digital eye strain symptoms. So coming into that one is number three, which is distance training. And as I said in my blog for this one, I'll put the link for that down in the comments as well if you want to read the blog. This distance training isn't about running when it comes to eye exercises. When you're on the computer, you're utilizing what is known as your short range vision. So we want you, or I want you, to look up from your computer and look into the distance. And when you're doing this, you can incorporate what's known as the 20-20-20 rule. And that means to look up every 20 minutes for 20 seconds at something that is 20 feet away. That's about 6 meters for us Aussies. So look at something in the distance. If you're in an office, just pick the point that is the most distant from you. Look at that for 20 seconds minimum, and while you're doing that, remember not to stare. You want to blink, so you keep your blink rate normal. And then coming into that, we want to do some focus training. Again, because you're utilizing your short range vision, your focus is in your short range vision, we want to spice that up a little bit. So what you want to do is we're going to do some focus training exercises. The first thing is to pick that point in the distance, and I want you to try and shift your focus. See if you can make it softer. See if you can make it sharper, this sort of thing. Now, I know this one is a little bit tricky. If you've never done it before, it can be hard to understand what exactly you're supposed to do. So just try and see, using your eyes, if you can shift the focus of it. Can you make it softer? Can you make it sharper? If that one's too hard for you, then we can move on to the next focus training exercise, which everybody can do. So I'll just step back a little bit, because this one requires you to point your finger, and I'm not pointing at you because that's rude. You just point your finger and focus on the tip of the finger. Everything around it should blur, but your finger should look sharp. The next thing I want you to do is to focus on a point just in front of the fingertip. Now that point will go into sharp focus and your finger will blur. Do that about 10 to 15 times, changing your focus, and that's a good way to practice your focus training. The next exercise, so you want to leave your finger out there, and this is number 6, I believe. Yes, it is. And then you want to bring it up to a point between your eyebrows just here, and do that backwards and forwards about 10 to 15 times. And again, you want to follow your finger with your eye as you're doing that. Okay, and now we move into the really fun and silly eye exercises. So as I've just said, you're going to look silly doing these, so just be prepared. Sometimes when I'm writing, I like to strengthen my individual eyes, because you're using both your eyes at the same time, right? So I use an eye patch. I know that sounds really funny, but you just cover one eye with the eye patch, then the other for about 10 minutes each side, and it just forces your individual eyes to work a bit harder. And I believe that strengthens my eyes. I don't have the scientific evidence or data for any of this. These are just the things that I do, and they help my eyes. And your eye patch doesn't have to be boring. Look at this. This is my cute little pink eye patch. Isn't that cute? It doesn't have to be boring. You can make it fun. The eye exercises are allowed to be fun, just like any exercise. So that's your eye patch. Then we move on to the next silly lot of exercises. These ones are really good and fun and quick. So the first thing you want to do is looking up and down. If it's easier for you, you can put your fingers here just to give you a focal point. So look up and down 10 to 15 times. Then you want to do left to right 10 to 15 times. Next one is to go on the diagonals, both sides, 10 to 15 times. See? Easy. And then the next one is rolling your eyes. So anyone you've ever wanted to roll your eyes at, now is the time to take advantage of it. So roll your eyes 5 times that way, 5 times that way. So left and right, roll your eyes. And then the very last one, so this is the number 12, the number 12 exercise is the infinity. Now the infinity, also known as the figure of 8, everyone knows what that is, this symbol. You want to focus on something in the distance, so this is working your distance training as well. Look at something in the distance and with your eyes do the figure of 8 infinity symbol on it. You can do that about 5 to 10 times. And then that's the end of your session. So I usually end my session with doing some blinking again. You can, if you want, don't have to if you want, take whatever exercises of these are helpful for you and incorporate them into your routine. I hope it helps. Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much. I hope that really helps you. Bye.